Hi everyone, this is Dov Hershkovitz, and this is the pipeline authoring 15.9 kickoff video. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You can see the planning issue, issue number 81, underneath the pipeline authoring group. We'll start with the goals of the milestone. The goal number one is to start working on the pipeline code catalog phase one, which will include introduce spec input for any types of include, and as a part of that work, we'll also force mandatory inputs for any types of include. Let's go ahead and explain what this really means. So in order to allow user to use what we would like to call a component, we would like to allow user to declare inputs as a part of the process of defining or using a component. This way we could allow user for easy reusability of a component, so you can include the same component over and over again with different inputs. And the way that it's going to look as a prerequisite is we will support all types of include. So it doesn't matter if you're using a local configuration file, project, remote, template, also trigger, include trigger project, meaning like parent-child pipeline and multi-project pipeline. They should all support this type of include. And when you include it, you include it with the inputs that you would like to use. So this is how users will use it. The way to declare it is by specifying a field named spec input, and spec input will start defining the different inputs that you'd like that configuration item or template, or basically any part of your pipeline configuration that you can include. You could, if you like, to define inputs, and with that also different inputs. As I mentioned, by default, all inputs are required, and if you already define some sort of a default value for your inputs, then it means that it is optional. So when you are including it with, you don't have to specify it. And the way to create your configuration is using this bracket, and basically you can replace any key in your pipeline with inputs dot, and this is the inputs that you'll use. So for instance, input dot stage will use this stage, and if you include the file with different stage, then it will simply replace the value that you've defined, either here or with the value that you've defined. Yeah, so this work will be split into two parts. The first part is doing the interpolation and declaration of spec input. The second part, which will probably come in the next iteration, will be the usage of with. And this will be the prerequisite for the CI catalog, which is a part of this sub-epic. So we have a sub-epic, and this is the epic, and in this epic you can dive into the different phases that we are working on. Now we are starting to implement phase number one, and phase number two is discussion on the blueprint. So we are doing those two together, and then we'll continue with phase three and then phase four. Okay. More things that are coming is the GA release of OpenID Connect. It's a carryover for 15.8. I think we just missed the launch, but we can definitely do it in 15.9. We have some UX and performance enhancement, and one thing that I actually want to call out is that work that we are doing to allow users to retry a downstream pipeline using a retry button on the trigger job. So it's a part of a bigger epic, and I think this is the last part that we've left to work on. Basically, we are going to add the retry button on top of a trigger job, which is not available today. And what it will do, it will actually spin out a completely new downstream pipeline. Unlike retrying a downstream pipeline, which will retry only the fail and cancel job, this will simply recreate a downstream pipeline. As you can see, a really top wanted feature. It's a feature set. It's not just one feature, but this is the last part of the work that we wanted to do. And lastly, we will have time. We will start working on this epic, which is to expose variable in GitLab UI. And there is some backend work, and probably going to more depth in the next recording. But in a nutshell, we would like to allow users to view the value of the variable scope per job. So we might have some time to start working on that issue. That's it. Starting the next iteration, we are going to do this recording together with Sonjon, our product designer. But until then, if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you and bye-bye.